to the theater. It's called the NovaCare Theater. It's the play-by-the-play over at the NovaCare Center with the drama that has gone on for the last 24 hours. All right, Gary, give me your take on this thing here, man.
I think it probably was brewing for a while. I think that bringing Matt Patricia in here, there was some doubt from the start. Maybe what you had is you might have had Howie and Nick say, look, we don't totally agree on this. One of them says, hey, I want Patricia brought in here just as insurance. And I think that, this is something they've been talking about. I don't think it just happened. I think it got to the boil to the point to where they say, look, okay, that's it. I mean, we can't even slow anybody down. So I think that's when they ultimately decided that they got to do something. But it's definitely Howie and it's Nick. It's not just one of them. It's both of them. And I'm just kind of wondering, I kind of think that maybe Howie is on the side of, I think he might be on, that he's on the side of, from New England.
Patricia.
Yeah, because, I just think that's the way I think. But, I'm not sure of that.
How about this, though, Gary?
Yeah.
On Tuesday, though, Nick was asked explicitly, are there going to be any changes made? He goes, no. We have the guys in the building that we need. We have everybody what we want. And then in a matter of 48 hours, that thing goes from, then there's a full practice on Tuesday. I was like, okay, that's new. Then you got Jalen Hurts doing up downs. And I'm going accountability to make Nick look good. Yeah. How much do you think the owner came in and said to Howie first to put it in Nick's ear, hey, enough is enough here. We've got to do something. I mean, isn't this kind of a repeat of how Doug was undermined a little bit, that all of a sudden, he wanted to coach. Next day, he's fired. It just seems a lot of conversation.
Boy, you got to go there. Woo. But I as I think about it, I know that Jeffrey Lurie is not just in this a little bit. I mean, as for his connection with this team. So I don't think that's out of the question. Clearly,
you know
he's
what,
got
Gary?
some kind
I'm not upset with the move. I'm upset how they got there. Are you?
Well, I think timing wise,
week 15.
Yeah, I mean, week 15. I thought that I would have been thinking a while back. I mean,
yeah,
I got to get Sean Desai's got to come into my office and explain to me what is going on. You know what I mean? He's got to come in and explain to me, like, dude, what are you doing? And I don't know that he could have explained to me well enough to where I've got guys out there don't look like they have a clue. I don't see guys getting smarter. I don't, at least I want players that know what they're doing. If they don't know what they're doing, I'm sorry. And that's where I had a problem a while back. Like, look, this is not working. You see experienced corners and these guys playing off. Come on. It's not that hard to disguise your coverage. It's really not that hard. Move around. You don't just go and stay in place. And look at the way Kansas City was playing. You see those guys, they put pressure on offense. They're moving around. It's not that hard. And so that's where I had a major problem with. I'm saying, like, these guys are playing like they're in their first year of college.
I know. Gary, I got to throw this at you here. Now, again, this is me being conspiracy sills here. Don't you find it weird that tonight, Darius Slay, he goes under the knife over the weekend, and Matt Patricia is calling his first game, and he's the play caller. Slay's not there. And at the beginning of the year, there was some sort of pseudo conversation between Slay and Patricia. Is everybody cool? Or the hard relationship they had in Detroit. Is that just coincidence that all of a sudden it's a scope too, Gary?
Yeah.
It's not repairing cartilage, or it's a scope.
That's
you could
right.
have did this Tuesday.
Yeah, you're right. It smells to me. It smells, especially the way I hear. I hear him talking all the time. He never shuts up. I go in the locker room. Yep. And he's one of those guys. He's a good player. So I'm not saying that I'm going to get rid of him or anything. I am going to talk to him, though. But what you're saying is I was very suspicious of it. I'm going, what? When did he have surgery? Did he just go on his own? What is going on?
Out of nowhere.
Came out of nowhere, man. I'm going like, what is going on? So it does smell to me. And yeah, they had a relationship. And once you have a relationship with a coach, putting it back together, I don't know, And so I definitely was suspicious of that. It doesn't smell right because, when Nick was up there, it's like somebody calls him on it. Come on, man. Why do you not come in and go, okay, by the way, I want to tell you that, Slay has had surgery on his knee. Come on. You come in and you tell. You're not trying to do it behind scene. Like, come on.
You did it over the weekend.
It smells. It smells, And the thing is, which makes you wonder, I'm not sure about the way this whole thing has happened, but it does smell, man. This whole thing smells.
I just wonder, okay, is he going to play? Are we going to see him again? Is there animosity? There's between the firing, the surgery, him not active tonight, the relationship, what's going on all week, the theatrical show they put on to show Nick's strength. He contradicted himself twice. I'm like, Gary, are you worried about tonight's game?
I'm very worried because, this is Bush League. Come on. This is not the way you do business. Come on now. And the rest of the guys have to look at it and go, I want them focused on football. But how could they not be thinking about all this? You don't think their family, their friends calling them, hey, what's going on? What's going on? You got guys around the league calling them, going, hey, man, what's going on over there? This is not normally the way where all of a sudden you got to switch. You got a 10-3 team just before the one of the games. This week. What is it? You got the 14th game of the season. All of a sudden, you got all this breaks right before the game. What?
On the eve of a game you need.
Come on, a game, the game of the year. Come on. It's a winnable game. It's a game that now after the Cowboys have lost, you're sitting in the driver's seat. Come on. But yet you got all this going on. It's not really the thing you want. And then you hear, that, Jalen is ill. All of this, you're going like, man. And it's tough going out there anyway, because it's a long trip. Especially young guys lose their focus, take a long trip. And whatever they see, they get to talking about whatever else is going on other than the game. And now you got all this stuff going on, and guys on the team can't help but talk about it some.
Too much noise.
That breaks your focus.
Too much noise.
It's too much noise. I don't like that, especially when tonight you got to play some young players. you got to have a guy you normally don't have in there. They're going to
Keely
have
Ringo's on DK Metcalf tonight.
Come on, man. that matchup is tough because you can't put 24 on him.
No,
he can't run with him.
He'll run him over.
There's no way he can put him over there. So, Slay's out. It's got to be it's going to be one of the kids. You got to put one of the kids out there, and they're going to go after him. They're going to be going after him.
Oh, no, they're going to play pitch and catch all night long with that thing. Garry, let me ask you this about Brian Johnson. Now that you see this, and you see that the Eagles are capable of making whatever you want to call this decision by taking the play calling. Hey, by the way, before I get to that question, a couple last questions here for you. What do you make of this? So Brian Johnson's still the D coordinator, but he's not making play calls. He's being put in the booth. Patricia's becoming now the play caller, but he's not given the title of being coordinator, and he's the guy making all decisions now, but yet you're going to put him in the booth tonight so that when they pan to him, you're going to kind of humiliate Sean Desai tonight. What's your take of that? I mean,
it's
talking
nonsense.
About dysfunctional.
It's nonsense. Come on. Once you demote a guy like that, you basically you cut his balls off, basically.
Yeah, you fired him.
Come on. Yeah, I mean, he's walking around there. How could he even look up and say hello to everybody because he's been fired? His authority has been taken away. So
why would you have him in the building, Garry?
I don't see why you have him in the building. Now, if you want to make him a consultant somewhere where you want to, fine. But you fired the guy. You can't make him a consultant because who respects him? You don't look at the guys. Don't know. I mean, he's not the coach anymore. So I don't know what good he does. I don't know what you do with that, other than you let the guy go home, man.
But why would you call him why would you still call him your DC?
I mean, it's like they're playing games, if you ask me.
I mean, okay, with that being said, don't you agree, Garry, that if you're Brian Johnson and this thing looks pathetic tonight, that he could be next? And go with me here. Here's another one that I'm looking at here, having talked to Frank. Do you think it would be out of the realm of possibility that Brian Johnson's the next pelt on the wall and they want to replace all these coordinators by the time they get to the playoffs? Nick takes over. They hire Frank as a consultant, and you have Frank Reich, Nick Sirianni, and Matt Patricia as your play callers heading into the postseason versus what you have now. Because if you'll do, like you said, if you'll fire a DC in week 15 and you're 10-3, you're capable of anything, Garry.
I think you have to consider that. But if they were to do that, they might as well.
Is it panic?
Come on. They might as well do their own movie. I mean, come on. They can't do that. Really, they can't do that because that is just a step beyond. You fire both of your coordinators. Come on.
And you're 10-3.
Team that's now if you were 2-6, 2-13 or something, fine. But you can't on a 10-3 team. I don't know that you can fire both of them. I don't think you can fire both of them and be looked on as a seriously run organization. So I think that it's going to be tough. Now I know they might be thinking it because you see issues on that side of the ball too.
But Garry, don't you think that the owner, if he had a conversation with Howie, they weren't just talking about one side of the ball?
I think you're right.
Don't you think that they were evaluating the entire coordinator position before they made that call to move Desai out on Sunday?
I do believe that. But I think if they remove both coordinators,
I get it.
It's just so much and so unusual that I don't know that they want to do that. Now, there may be merit to it. I mean, look, Desai wasn't doing a good job. Johnson's not doing a good job either. I mean, they're really not doing a good job. But I don't know that they want to go ahead and get rid of both of them. But
you think Jalen would have too much influence in that, not wanting that move to go in there? And
yeah, probably so. But I tell you what, if things don't pick up in the offseason, I don't know how he stays.
I'm going to throw this at you here. Here's the last one here. This is a prime example. I watched something last night in the Dallas game that just blows my mind, and how the Eagles didn't follow suit when everyone knows that Dan Quinn has done a great job of masking the softness in their run game and their run defense in Dallas. Do you know last night, Gary, they ran the ball 49 times and had only 7 completions.
I know.
And they blew out the Dallas Cowboys. You got a situation tonight where Seattle is not very good against the run, and they're one of the worst teams against the run. I don't want to see a balanced attack tonight. I want to see 50 runs tonight. Get the win, get the hell out of there.
That's right.
Towards the end of the season here. I mean, I don't need balance tonight. They need to be committed tonight running the ball.
I'm right on board with you. I think that I would have a talk with those guys, and I've said early in the week, I would have a talk with my big guys. And I'm not just talking offensively, defensively as well. Look, because the offensive line is crap, okay? The offensive line is no good. I mean, come on. You got Peters playing. Come on. You know the offensive line, they're no good.
That's 42.
That's right, at 42. You have got to expose them. And so the Eagles' offensive line has got to take over this game, and they got to be able to run the ball, and they don't need to be cute about it. They need to ball up their fist and say, fellas, y'all going for a ride. Leonard Williams in there, he's a pretty good player. There's nobody else on their line. It's garbage. And that's on both sides, really, offensively and defensively. They got to win the ball up front. Win the game up front. They got to run the football. And so I agree with you wholeheartedly. The thing these guys got to realize, look, this is your season. I mean, you can't let your season fall apart like this and forget all of the crap that's going on, because that is distracting to make these kind of moves. Come on. It makes you think the team is a joke. You're moving people in and out playing games. And no, he should have came out, if he was going to do this, should have came out at the beginning of the week and said he was going to do that. Come out, say it, talk about it. That's it. We're not talking about it anymore. We move on. This late in the week, and it all comes out, and the guys on the team are going, what? Man, come. They know what happened, but there's no announcement. They're walking around with a secret. Come on. Why you got the guys walking around with a secret, man? Come on.
Jesus, man.
I don't like the way that.
This is self-inflicted wounds.
That's where you got this circus. You don't want the circus. You know, you don't want the circus atmosphere, because your young guys can't focus in that. And you're going all the way to Seattle. You lose young guys sometimes on trips. I've seen it. Going like, dude, man, this is not look, we're going here to play this game, man. We're not going here to get out here.
Business trip.
Come on. You talk to your young guys, you try to get them out of that mentality. Look, this is a business trip. We're not going to have fun. We're not going to have fun, especially your defensive players, because you really need to play defensively. You got to play with some anger. You can't this is not fun. We're going out here, to beat these guys up. We're not going here to have a good time and la-di-da. No. So, and a lot of times, it's hard to keep your young players in that mentality if you're taking a long trip and stuff. So with all of this nonsense, you got to have your older players talk to the young guys, say, look, dude, this is business. This is our careers. This is our year. We've got ourselves in a position where we could have a special year. Don't get caught up in all of the media stuff. You can't get caught up in that. You got to be focused on playing football, and they got to play well. And they got some weapons that could really cause a problem, with those wide receivers they got. So
I want to end this with you here, Gary. How much of this year, especially on the defensive side of the ball, it's almost like Howie uses these coaches. Go down the list, Doug, anybody. He uses these coaches for his own failure. I've never seen an analytics guy in his department ever fired. I rarely see any personnel guys ever fired. All I see is assistant coaches demoted, fired, head coaches fired. Nobody under him. It's always like, it seems to me, it's their fault not putting my guys in a position to win. When quite frankly, you try to put Christian Ellis on George Kittle in that Niner game. I heard a guy earlier on my network even make the point. He goes, how could he not recognize that? Well, because he's not good enough. I go, there's a reason why you have scrub team, second team, first team. There is a difference. Why scrubs can't cover George Kittle. Why? Because he doesn't recognize it. He hasn't had enough reps.
Yeah.
It's almost like, Gary, every guy that's on that linebacking core has been waived. And you're expecting these guys to cover George Kittle or Christian McCaffrey? There's a reason you were cut.
That's right.
It's because you couldn't cover them.
That's right.
That's not going to change in Philly.
That's right. You know, and I think they need to have a serious talk this offseason, because you look at San Francisco, you look at the linebackers they send out there. Come on. Nowadays, you got to have guys that can run and can tackle. You know, and they got to be able to tackle in open field.
Gary, here's the difference between San Francisco and Philly. Warner was drafted in the third round. Dean was drafted in the third round.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is correct, but I want to say it probably ends right there then, huh?
Okay. Hey, right there, Gary. I mean, you have Dean. Yeah. They have Warner.
Yeah.
Both were third round draft choices.
That's
How you doing?
Yeah. You know, they got to get serious though. They got to do a better job. I mean, you got to have talent there, and you can't just take it for granted. Come on, look how important a job they do versus the run and the pass. Come on, they're making most of the tackles. How is that not an important position? I don't get it. Now, you don't have as many guys out there, but you got to have some special players in that position, because they got to make all these open field tackles. They got to be able to cover. They got to be able to play against the run. I don't see how that's not a very important position. But the guys up front, of course, are very important as well. But I think those linebackers, man, you know, I think it's important.
Do they win tonight?
With all this stuff, you know, I mean, there's so many variables. Like, you don't know, like what's going on with Jalen. I don't know.
It's going to be tough. I think is getting the start tonight.
I think it's going to be tough for them to win tonight, be honest with you. Because I'm telling you, young guys, when you take them on trips, a lot of times you can lose them on the trip. You know, you look at the kid in the huddle, you're going, hey, man, wake up. You know?
It's a 3 technique, kid. Move your ass over. That's like Cobb kicking me in the ass. Move over, 3 technique, not head up. Gary, we'll see tonight. I tell you what, man, Philadelphia could be on, like Rome is burning. It could be like Philly is burning if something happens tonight and they don't get that win.
I'm going to say they're going to win. I'm thinking Jalen's going to try to he's going to get us. He's going to find a way to get out there and try to make it happen.
I agree with you. Gary, thank you so much. Have a great call on the game for Fox 29. Thank you so much, my friend.
All right.
You got it. Gary Cobb. Holy cow, man. Can you imagine tomorrow if that thing? Oh, what am I praying for? Should I pray for a loss? No, because then it's a negative show, and I don't want to do that. I picked them to win if Jalen plays. Now, if Jalen doesn't play and he's vomiting and they yank him, they ain't winning. Seattle will win that game. The holy hell breaks loose. I like holy hell breaking loose. Wins only? I think so too, Trey. No one likes covering the Arizona Cardinals. I don't want to do that. Yeah, no. There's been too much. See, I don't like every day a negative. I like to have I like to do a couple days of kicking someone's ass, and then you know what? You build it back up again. Yeah, no, I don't. That's not how I am. I don't want that. That's more something like Keon and LJ. Those guys like to be urinated on all day, like Trump. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a myth. Yeah, so. It got to be a win. It's got to be a win. Yeah, I'm going with the win. Yeah, all right. Hey, don't forget. Speaking of winning, Hooters December, absolutely awesome. Santa bonus bucks, my friends. We so appreciate you going into each and every single one of the locations, all 7 of the locations from Rhode Island to Jersey, all the way down to King of Prussia. January 6th, we're going to be there at King of Prussia, so we want you to get a heads up there. All the great gift cards, too. The Santa Bucks, man, make great gifts. Go to HootersToGo.com. If you don't want to go into the place tonight to watch the Eagles and the Seahawks tonight, you can get the food to go. Monday is Military Mondays, 20% off. Don't forget happy hours, Monday through Friday, 4 to 6. 6 items, 6 bunks. The lunch specials, Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 3 p.m. Boneless wings, absolutely fantastic. That's NortheastHooters.com. NortheastHooters.com. When you roll in, do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
Eat chicken wings, buy Hooters things. Christmas is near. Shop, have a beer. Christmas shopping shouldn't be hard. Give your friends a Hooters gift card.
This year, stuff their stockings and yours too with a one-size-fits-all gift card. Buy a $25 Hooters gift card and receive a $5 Santa's bonus card. Make it Hooters for the holidays.
Eat chicken wings, buy Hooters things. Christmas is near. Gift cards are here. Good at Hooters everywhere now. Hooters gifts are always favored.